Welcome, fans, to episode 103 of Rangers Ed, presented by Lucarelli Law. If you're in Florida and need a lawyer, call Lucarelli Law and tell them the boys at Rangers Ed sent you. This is your host, Cousin Ed. We are here live on YouTube. That's little Ed Ceiling fan over there. If you guys
There
are
we
watching,
go.
what's up, buddy?
What's up, boys? Coming off a hot win for Coach Ed and I. Stony Brook, big win against Hofstra. Shout out to Long Island Sports Network for broadcasting the game for us. Did a great job. And it was a great game. Came out on top, 4-2.
Wow, that's pretty cool. They broadcasted it?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, obviously we couldn't hear it during the game, but I just saw some of the clips on Instagram, and it was a great job. The announcer knew everyone's last name, like on the fly. It was very well done.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome.
So shout out to them for sure.
We got Coach Ed over there. Congrats, guys. Coach Ed over there with his Blackhawks banner. You want to explain that, Coach?
Yeah, well, this week Ranger fandom lost one of the great ones. Very good friend of ours, Kathy's daughter-in-law's mom passed away. And the story behind this banner was one of our Ranger trips. We went to Chicago, and Alice came along because her sister lives in Chicago. She visited the sister and obviously came to the game. And big Ranger fan from when she was 17 years old, on countless games and whatnot, stories. So we go to the Ogden bar that's on the bottom of the banner. It's the famous bar outside of what is it, American Airlines Stadium? I forget. Where they every time Chicago scores a goal, the siren goes off
Center,
on top of the United Center. Yeah. Every time the Blackhawks score, a siren goes off on the cash register, the Stanley Cup that's on the cash register. So we were breaking the guy's chops. If we win, we want to hold the cup. So we go back to the bar after the Rangers did win, and he let me hold the cup up. It was fun. And this banner was on the front of the bar. It's about 3 by 5 or 6. So me and Eddie, we got to get this banner. We were on a banner kick back then. So it was only held on with plastic straps. So we're trying to break the straps. And I think it might have been the first time you met Alice, Ed. You didn't really know her that well.
No.
And
definitely.
She comes over to us and she goes, What are you guys up to? What's going on? We're like, don't say nothing to Kathy. Shh, we want to get this banner. She goes, break the straps. I'm good at this shit. I'll take care of this.
Yeah, I'm good at this shit. That was the famous line.
That was her line. I'm good at this shit. So we break the straps. She folds it up. We go, Kathy, go get the cab. Go outside and wait for the cab. We'll be right out. She folds it up, puts it in the pocketbook. We just walk out of the bar. The cab's waiting outside. We get in the cab and we're gone. Kathy had no idea till we got to the hotel or wherever we went for the next drink or whatever. And that's forever my memory of her. And just a good person, good grandmother.
Yeah, she was a great person, great fan of the show.
Very genuine person. Always asked about your kids and what they were doing and how they were doing, etc. And my only argument with her was she just did not like Dan Girardi. So that was always our banter when we were watching a game or something. She just did not like him. She probably blames 2014 on him, like a lot of people do.
Yeah, wow. Comment.
Lindsay commented that in the group chat already, or in the YouTube chat.
Well, good thing we got a lawyer on staff in case they do come back at us, the Ogden. But
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be admitting to any kind of crimes on a live podcast, but it is what it is.
I think we paid a pretty hefty bar. I think we paid a pretty hefty bar tab.
Yeah. We borrowed it. We're gonna bring it back next time we go to Chicago.
Yeah, follow me.
Oh man, that is funny. We got Mikey Produces over there with the Rangers Ed podcast on his white wall. What's up, Mikey?
Going on, fellas. Excited for this one. I'm excited for the fans to see what we have in store.
Yeah, it's a big episode. I'm sure everybody who's logged in is logged in for a reason, not just to see us, but we got a special guest coming on tonight to do a little jersey reveal. So stay tuned for that. He's going to join us shortly. while we wait for that, I don't want to tease it too much, right? I don't know how much you said on social media, Ed. I wasn't on there, but I don't want to reveal it if it hasn't been revealed.
It's
So
not my thing to reveal. We're gonna have to wait for our guest.
So let's wait. So stay tuned for that. He's coming on soon. And let's jump right in. Let's jump into Jersey Profiles, sponsored by Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey.
Who's our
buddy Oscar, a huge Rangers fan himself, started his company by stitching his own blue shirts. Once he perfected his craft and started to fall in love with his work, the man started to grow. Oscar stitches every jersey with love and dedication to authenticity, which never disappoints. His talent is hard to find in any store out there. Are you like Cousin Ed? You have a lingering jersey curse that every player he gets a jersey of gets traded or injured and hurts the Rangers team? You want to change things up? You want to take an Eric Lindros jersey and make it a vintage Ken Hodge jersey in the late 70s? Got an old jersey collecting dust in your closet? Want to throw your name on the back and add a nice number of one of your favorite players? You can bring it back to life with a brand new kit at Oscar's Pro Stitch. So head on over to Oscar's Instagram at Oscars PSH. That's OSCARS PSH to check out the countless tarps he's already done and to place the order for his next one that possibly can post on Instagram and get ready to wear it to the next Ranger game or any event that you have coming up. Tell them the boys from Rangers Ed sent you and receive a special discount at Oscar's Pro Stitch Hockey. Go get them, Rangers.
Yeah, and little Ed got cut off there. The Oscar is our special guest tonight, so he missed his own ad. But yeah, so our jersey
technical difficulties. He should be on soon.
Yeah, our Jersey Profile, episode 103. So we'll do number 3 is Harry Howell, the 1966-67 Norris Trophy winner, made one All-Star game, inducted to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1979. Played 1,160 games with the Rangers, which is the most games played in Rangers history. 82 goals, 263 assists, 345 points, 1,147 PIMs, which is a lot. Coach, you know what I found interesting with Harry Howell? Not drafted, signed a pro contract with the Rangers. I'm pretty sure he wasn't drafted because there was no draft yet. And guys were just signing pro contracts. From like the OHL. I think he played with the
wherever
Storm.
They wanted to, wherever you wanted to go, you just signed.
I don't really know. I was going to ask you. How did it work before the NHL draft?
You're asking the wrong guy, unfortunately, because I don't. I was young back then. I don't remember. I mean, but
the first draft was 1963.
That's 1963. So
52-53 was when he started his career at age 20. He signed a pro contract with the Rangers. So interesting. Definitely something I'm curious to learn more about. I don't know everything about it, but I mean, it just said, I looked up his bio, signed a pro contract with the Rangers. And was he just fair game for everything?
I kind of remember like guys like, I don't know, general managers would go out to the farms in Canada and just sign the guy while they were working on the farm. We want you to play for the Canadians or whatever,
Yeah.
I kind of remember that being in an old movie. Wasn't that like in the old movie, The Rocket? Something like that happened, I think. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
That's like the Lou Gehrig movie. What movie is that? Was that Pride of the Yankees?
Yeah.
They found him working somewhere, right? And they were just like, hey, come play for the Yankees or whatever.
Yeah.
So no wonder the Canadians were always winning. They probably just had access to all those guys. But
yeah.
Anyway, Harry Howell had his number retired by the Rangers after he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think it was done recently, right? Because it was just for a while. It was Leach. I'm trying to remember when his number was inducted. Yeah, it's 2009.
Probably. I was gonna say about 5 years ago because we went that night. I think.
Yeah, we had it on the graphic. It was 2009. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 30 years after he was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Very interesting. For a while, the Rangers were really stingy with retiring numbers. They just had Giacomin and Gilbert. And then all of a sudden, 1, 2, 3, 7, 9, 11, 35, 30, they're all up there now. So, good to see. So, Harry Howell, a great Ranger, old timer. All right, let's jump into the season breakdown. So, prior to the last episode, the Rangers were 6-2-0 They're 2-0-1 since then. They sit at 8-2-1, 17 points, first in the Metro, tied for third in the NHL. Last episode, we actually recorded live during the Winnipeg game. So you guys had a little bit of a live reaction to that. I included that in this week's numbers just because we didn't really cover that game. So we started finishing that 5-game road trip, winning in overtime in Winnipeg. Came back home, beat Carolina 2-1 in a gritty game where we lost Adam Fox and Filipino to injury. So we'll get to that. And then back west, right by Winnipeg, back to Minnesota for whatever reason. A shootout loss 5-4. Jonathan Quick had 36 saves. So the point streak continues, but the winning streak ends. Let's just get right into it. Adam Fox goes on long-term injured reserve with a lower body injury. Zach Jones draws in against Minnesota. What is your guys' reaction to the Sebastian Aho clipping on Fox? First, did you think it was dirty? Second, do you think it was a penalty? Because there's a difference, right? Not every penalty is dirty. And then, obviously, feel free to just talk about Foxy. Little Ed, I'll start with you.
I don't want to say it was a dirty play. It was a little bit late of a hit, but I don't think Aho was going into it like thinking I'm going to injure Fox. I mean, I don't think that happens very often in the NHL, I hope. But, I mean, like I said, I think he was just going for a regular hit, and Fox went to dodge it, and that kind of stuff happens all the time. It's unfortunate. It didn't really look that bad to me, so I'm not surprised that Fox is hurt. I don't want to say that, but I guess I had some wishful thinking that it wasn't going to be as bad as everyone said it was or whatever. Yeah, I mean, obviously his absence shows, but I think the depth in the defense, we should be able to get by no problem. I mean, we'll get into the Minnesota game a little bit later, but I don't think that's the reason they lost that game. So, Coach, what do you think?
I mean, it's kind of one of those plays. I watched it a few times. I kept watching it. I don't think he stuck his leg out much at all. He was going to finish his check from what I could see on Fox, and Fox tried to dodge it and caught leg on leg. It definitely wasn't a typical Charlie McAvoy throwing the leg out hit. I didn't see that. I just think it was one of those plays where Fox just made a little deke and he got caught in the wrong angle. I mean he obviously skated.
The problem
he didn't get carried off the ice, so it wasn't. I don't think it's as bad as. Well,
that's not necessarily true because, first of all, you said he was going to finish his check. I mean, the puck was in the corner, and Fox was coming down the middle of the ice. The puck he didn't even have the puck. So, Aho was completely focused on Fox, and he was coming towards Fox, who didn't have the puck. Yes, he didn't really stick his leg out, but he was solely focused on Fox, which to me, I don't think is dirty, but they're talking about these hits lately a lot on, I saw it on a podcast or NHL Network or something, and the players have a rule of getting 50% of the body. So if you're gonna make contact with a player, you have to at least make 50% contact with it. But just getting a clip of that person, that's where you get injuries, right? Like an elbow to the face, or clipping a shoulder, you could separate a shoulder. So I just think Aho's intentions there were probably not to injure. I'm not saying that, but I do think it was interference. I mean, at a minimum, it was interference.
I'm not going to say it wasn't a penalty of some sort, but again, as a coach, if I'm playing against a guy like Adam Fox, I'm telling my forwards finish every check on him.
Yeah, but you finish with the body. You don't go leg to leg, Coach. That was 100.
I don't think because Fox dodged.
In my personal opinion, that was definitely on purpose. He did not try to avoid him whatsoever. You could kind of see his knee gets stuck out a little bit.
And he didn't have the puck.
Yeah, but
that's the biggest thing. He didn't have the puck. You're not
100% should have been a penalty for that reason. But you have to understand that for a player to go knee to knee like that intentionally, you're risking yourself getting a horrible injury just as much as the other player. So I don't think Sebastian Aho is going to take that chance just to take Adam Fox out for a couple weeks.
I agree there. I don't think it was
Aho's lucky that he didn't get the same injury. To be honest,
no, I agree with you on that.
Because his knee went flying back also. No, I'm just saying because what Mike said, I don't think it was intentional. If it was intentional, he's going to try to hurt him in a different way, not go knee to knee.
Yeah, I think that I don't think it's dirty. There's a lot of Rangers fans online, and I think you're talking about it being a dirty hit, which is my first question. A lot of Rangers fans online.
He like lunged at him. He's trying to finish the check at the point. It's like it's not really a necessary hit.
If
It happens
anything,
all game.
when Fox went to
100%.
avoid Aho, his leg was kind of out there, like maybe a skate got caught or something. So he kind of like went to avoid him. I like you said, Aho didn't stick his leg out. He just didn't move, like Mike said. So I don't really think it was necessarily dirty, but he was solely focused on Fox, and Fox didn't have the puck, and it's a dangerous play. I mean, it's just unfortunate. But
any hit thrown on a Ranger player is dirty.
It's definitely
That's just how it goes.
Penalty.
Can you explain the LTIR situation and what it means in terms of like contracts or salary cap? I mean,
yeah. So LTIR and salary cap is a little confusing. A lot of fans think that when a player goes on LTIR, then you gain cap space, and you actually don't gain any cap space when a player is on LTIR. What happens is if you end up going over the cap, that's okay. For example, Fox makes $9.5 million. So if the Rangers were to add a player who makes $9.5 million while Fox is on LTIR, that's fine. They can fit that player in and they can go $9.5 million over the salary cap, right? That's the simplest explanation. As far as accruing that cap space, they don't accrue it. So Fox being out doesn't mean their cap space drops by $9.5 million. It's still under the cap. They're under the salary cap. So as long as Fox, including his salary, as long as the team is under the salary cap, then they'll accrue cap space towards the deadline. But if they end up going over, they don't add any cap space. So the simplest explanation is this. The Rangers can add $9.5 million while Fox is on LTIR. The moving him to LTIR allows them to move guys up and down freely, because without doing this, they only really had space for Jake Lecision or Johnny Brodzinski to come up. That's it. So
now PA is coming in the chat.
Yeah. So what was his injury? It's just a lower body injury. They didn't disclose it. Actually, we need to bring EA the PA on because I want to show her the video where you can see Fox right before the play. His knee kind of jolts a little bit before he even makes contact with Aho. It looks like his skate gets stuck and his knee kind of like twists, and then he hits Aho. So that makes me a little bit concerned. Those non-contact injuries are never good. But anyway, I probably confused everybody more. But while the player's on LTIR, you can go over the salary cap as much as that player's salary is. But once Fox is activated, the team needs to be cap compliant again. So if they went and added a guy who makes $9 million, once Fox is healthy, they need to be under the cap. They would have to clear out $9.5 million to activate Fox, which is where teams like Vegas got in trouble in the past because guys were ready to come back sooner. And then you start playing games, right? So let's say Fox has an injury that keeps him out, hopefully not, but like 4 months, right? That takes us to like March. So that's close to the playoffs, right? So at that point, you're like, all right, I'll just leave him out until the playoffs start. Because if you do that, then you can add $9 million in salary. That's a lot. That's a big time player you can add to the roster.
Which is something like the Lightning did and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. But if he's only out, 24 days on LTIR or 10 games, then
does that make Suter?
I want to say yes.
Yeah. Oh, so we got Megan sprained knee according to an NHL article. Okay, I didn't see any diagnosis. Usually the teams don't release that. I don't even know what sprained knee means. Is that an MCL, an ACL? I mean, I think it makes a difference on the recovery.
All the above.
No, it really does. I think the difference is, how long a player's recovery period is going to be. But he has to miss at least 10 games and at least 24 days being on LTIR. So he will not be back for little Ed's birthday. He comes right back after that, right? So through your birthday present hopefully will be Adam Fox returning on November 29th.
That's fine. I don't have to see him live. We have plenty of other games.
But
I think a sprain isn't a sprain just stretched ligaments.
We might have those tickets also anyway. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I didn't mean for you being at the game. I'm saying your birthday's the 28th. The 29th.
Yeah, but we'll be at the game the 27th.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully your birthday gift is he's fine, but who knows with a knee injury, man. I mean, it opens the door to a question, how long is he going to be out? And I think once we hit the 29th, if he's not immediately activated, there's going to be some questions about how long he's actually going to be out for. The prognosis right now is 2 to 4 weeks from what I saw, but I didn't see the diagnosis sprained knee. So I wouldn't expect any kind of big time ads or anything like that due to the injury and the LTIR designation. If he's coming back in 2 to 4 weeks, there's just doesn't make sense. You don't bring in big money and then have to become cap compliant by activating him later in the month.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess it's something to monitor. And I just wanted to add, let's bring Oscar in. Oscar is joining us here, so I want to get Oscar's take on the Fox hit too. It was obviously the biggest deal.
Look at
What's
this
up,
guy.
Oscar?
Look at that background.
Wow.
What do you guys think of the background?
Love it.
Can you guys hear me?
Very nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, good. Sorry,
Wow.
really sorry, guys. Network issues. So it took me a while to set
network
that
issues,
up. Today.
aka figuring out what jerseys to hang up.
Looking
Is
that-
up all my bins.
What happens
there
you
you
live
go.
in Jersey.
Is that your inventory or is that your personal set?
This is my personal set. Yeah.
Wow,
But
beautiful.
yeah, I
That's
figured
awesome.
I wanted to get these all out and say, let me put all the Ranger jerseys that aren't, our typical home and away jerseys that we've been talking about, for, I don't know.
Did
You and I have been talking about it for a while.
Did you see
Yep.
the Wolfpack red jerseys, by the way?
Yeah, I love that one. Yeah. I tried to get my hands
Yeah,
on one last season and I no dice, I got outbid. So I'll try
Yeah,
again.
those are really nice. I don't think the Rangers have ever done a red jersey, like a version, have they?
No, I mean, they
think
came
the-
out that starter fashion jersey. Remember that was a Liberty fashion jersey that came out, and no, they never wore it, but it was
Yeah, they
pretty
just
popular.
sold it in
in the day.
stores.
Yeah, I don't remember that. But anyway, so we'll get into a little more on jerseys in a bit, but we were just talking about Adam Fox and the hit by Sebastian Aho. So pretty much coach saying, it's I don't know if you were listening backstage, but coach saying that it's a play that happens all game. Mike thinks it was dirty. Little Ed's kind of in between. Not surprised by any of that. Just wanted to get your thoughts on the Fox play with Sebastian Aho.
I think Aho knew what he was doing. I mean, he saw that he was getting burned. It was a good play. The puck was already, like you said, already in the corner. He knew Fox had a leg up on him, and he decided to stick out his own leg. And he knew very well what he was doing. Stop this guy at all costs. Just but coach is right. You see the best player out there, do whatever you can to slow him down, finish your checks. Give him an elbow in the corner or something. Slow him down, whatever you can do.
Course.
But yeah, no, I think Aho knew he got burned, and he decided to slow him down a little bit more. Unfortunately, now he's out for
I
a while.
I don't think he meant to hurt him, but I think he definitely meant to interfere with him. So
without
also the Hurricanes generally, I mean, I noticed in that game, I guess I haven't noticed this in past seasons as much, but they're pretty dirty. I don't mean dirty in that like
They're chippy.
slang way of saying
they're
very
the
chippy.
cleanest player.
Yeah,
no, I
very,
think I think it's not just gritty or chippy. I think they're dirty. I mean, the high sticks. There was like 4 or 5 high sticks in that game that weren't even called. And look, I looked online. I looked at the actual rule, and they weren't necessarily penalties based on the rule. So a lot of fans were up in arms about the high sticks, but a follow through on the puck or a face off, those aren't necessarily penalties. If they're, it's up to the ref's discretion on the intent of the player in those circumstances, which I didn't really even know. I thought every high stick was you got to control your stick, but I guess not.
No, the follow through came through a few years ago. They changed it.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, when it happens 3, 4, 5 times, it's like, come on, guys. Like, this is something going on here. It's not like a one follow through.
It's like Eddie said. It's a Brindamore coach team. That's the way he played. Look at his nose. Look at his nose, man. He was in everything.
Yeah.
And when you play the Hurricanes, like in the playoffs or any game, you're going to come out bruised up.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That
that's
team
his
does not
that's his
impress me.
message.
They don't
That's
impress
his
me at all.
message.
I'm not impressed by the Hurricanes at all.
Well, their goaltending is the weak spot, like on most a lot of these teams.
Yeah,
their
now I'm seeing that they
defense
might
and-
be
yeah.
trading. They might be trading D'Angelo now that Pesci's back.
Yeah, well, he's trash, so I'm not surprised by that. I mean, he was directly responsible for the game-winning goal in that game. You know.
That's great. Yep, that's great.
By
to
the way,
see.
I saw Gaza pop on there and say that they only wear red jerseys in practice. That's true. I have seen that, but I haven't seen any game action red jerseys. I'd like to see it.
The red jerseys
don't
with
all-
no contact jerseys.
I
Right.
thought it was yellow.
Right. So maybe they need to wear those when they play the Hurricanes, so they can
I
avoid
think
injury.
I think gold or yellow is no contact.
So speaking
Yeah,
of
I think it is
injuries
yellow.
and the Hurricanes and Adam Fox, we're done with that. Filipino also left that game. He was placed on IR. We talked about this coming into the year. It was one of Coach Ed's biggest concerns with Chytil. 6 points in the first 9 games, all assists for Chytil, playing with Panarin and Laffy. The line was buzzing most of the season. He has a collision with Jesper Fast at center ice. It looks like Fast went down, but he ran into him like pretty hard. You know, it was a good hit by Fast. Chytil, strong on his skates, but goes to the bench holding his wrist. He had that wrist issue in the preseason. He's on IR. That means he's out at least 7 days. Coach, I'm going to start with you since, you're the one who brought up Chytil's injury history. Where are we at with Chytil and this injury? And do you think we have the center depth to withstand losing Chytil?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, anybody who listens knows my feeling about Chytil and his injury prowess. It's just over and over. He's got to get through a full season. Now, every season it's missing 5 to 10 games here, for whatever reason. He missed preseason. He couldn't get into the groove for the regular season. He was finally getting into the groove, and he, one body check. It wasn't even like he got nailed from behind into the boards. I mean, how are you going to play in the NHL when you can't face any contact ever?
Jesper held up too. He held up. You could tell he held up when he was going. Right
Yeah, I mean, come on. He put on the pounds, but Jesus.
We're gonna make
as far as
a Chytil ambulance for Coach's corner.
I like that.
72 on the side of it.
I mean,
you're gonna have to do it. Little Ed's gonna have to make another craft here. You have to make a Rangers Ed ambulance.
Sorry, Eddie.
Little Ed's workshop is officially open on Instagram. Toss him a follow.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and I can attest to the work. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's all behind me as well.
As far as the center position, I think Trocheck's going to fill in. He's playing real well. I mean, is he as fast as Chytil? Obviously not, but he's going to fill in that spot fine, and it'll be a matter of the third and fourth line situation.
Yeah, so before I go to everyone else on this, I want to actually ask you that. So they moved Trocheck up against Minnesota to take Chytil's spot. What do you think of that? Because the Trocheck line was finally getting in a groove with Cooley and Wheeler. I feel like Wheeler was playing better. He's starting to make some plays. He looks a little quicker in the last few games. And Cooley's obviously, clicking with Trocheck. So now you're taking Trocheck off that line and you're putting somebody. It's almost like you're redoing all 3 lines.
What's so funny? Oh. Gaza. Oh man, chirping from across the pond.
I love that.
awesome.
That's true. Chytil is injury prone. So Gaza says the Czechs make better stronger vehicles than Chytil.
I don't know if we have any Czech cars over here in the States, Gaza. So
yeah. So my question was: is it better to just replace Chytil and leave everything else alone, or now because you're moving Trocheck, you have to replace Trocheck, and then everything is getting jumbled a little bit. So then when Chytil comes back, it's going to be the same thing again, right? It's going to be another mishmash. So just your thoughts as a coach, why do that? I'm curious.
Who are you going to replace him with? What would be your idea? I mean, you have to move up the next.
My idea would probably be Trocheck, but I'm just asking if that's the right thing to do. I mean, if not Trocheck, it would be someone probably like Gaudreau, or when they called up Brodzinski, putting Brodzinski there.
They sent him
I mean,
back
it'd be
down,
not.
right?
I know.
You're not just going to bring in a second line center out of nowhere. I don't think,
Yeah.
unless you have somebody down at the Wolfpack. But Trocheck played with Panarin last year. They did have a decent chemistry, and we got
Yeah.
4 goals against the Wild. Everything worked out pretty good. Wheeler got a beautiful assist. I mean, I'm happy with what he did. It's easier to replace a third, fourth line center than it is a second line center.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that it happened this early in the season, but it's something that they have to be prepared for come playoff time towards the end of the season, right? So, I mean, Trocheck obviously has the experience. He's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, in my opinion. He could play anywhere. He's kind of like Goudreau, but a little bit more skilled, obviously. So, I think he'll do fine. But I understand what you're saying in terms of jumbling it up. I was surprised they sent down Brzezinski. That's why I was saying that. I knew you knew that, but why would they? Could that be a salary cap thing? Does he make too much in terms of that? Like, because I would prefer him over. I prefer him over Pitlick in the lineup for sure. So
no, that was because they needed Brodzinski because Goudreau missed the last game because of the birth of his child. So because Goudreau was out,
so he
and
wasn't really
Chytil was
replacing
out.
Chytil. Yeah, he was replacing Goudreau.
Yeah, because Pitlick came in and played on the fourth line, replacing Goudreau, and then Brodzinski replaced Chytil by moving to the third line center. So now that Goudreau is coming back, I'm assuming he'll play third line center, and
Pitlick will slide in the fourth line,
and Pitlick will stay on the fourth line. Exactly.
I mean, it's not terrible. Like the Rangers, they definitely have good depth. I mean, up top and on the back end. So I mean, you've been really pulling for Jones to get a chance. So now it's his chance to show something, even if it's showing other teams around the NHL something. And
yeah, he's sure showing something. He's showing teams around the NHL that he can't play in the NHL. That's what he's doing.
Well, we were saying it in the preseason, Coach, right?
Yeah. And the other game that he did dress and he played with Schneider, Schneider got schooled a lot because when you're used to playing with someone like Gustafson or guys like Harper and those guys that are more defensive responsibly, it shows when you don't have that guy. And now he might not make those reactions as quick. And then Jones was like following guys up to the point. I'm like, I watched a replay of the one goal. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And there's a guy all alone, and Laffy had to come all the way down, and he didn't make it. I mean, you're not playing pond hockey. If it's 4-on-4 or 3-on-3, it could be a little different, but not 5-on-5. It's that's a tough thing for a D partner to adjust to for sure. Even though Schneider's been real good at it, but 2 games he played with him, they've been on the ice for a few goals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Oscar, what do you think? Of Trocheck moving up to replace Chytil and also Jonesy stepping in for Fox. What do you think of his game against Minnesota?
You have to bump him up, right? Because it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to? Who's the other guy in Hartford that we sent? Jake Lecision, right? Are we really going to call him up and ask him to fill the road? No, it's not going to happen. So yeah, you have to move him up there unless I don't know. I have been liking Trocheck's game lately. I have been appreciating kind of the little things he's been doing, especially off the draw and everything. So it's tough.
He plays hard.
Tough situation. Yeah, tough situation right now.
Yeah, I've been appreciating Trocheck more lately too. I agree. I think he's I think if fans get a little frustrated with Trocheck because they feel like it was unnecessary because Chytil could have taken that second line center role. But I feel like, Coach, you brought this up over the offseason. There really isn't a second line anymore, right? It's like the middle 6 is a thing. It's like your top line, your fourth line, and then you have like the middle 6. So having Trocheck as your guy to step in when your second line center is hurt. I mean, he is a second line center. He's a quality second line center already. And I just appreciate his game a little bit, getting in the corners. He digs in, he gets pucks. We don't have a lot of guys that do that. He's uniquely doing that, I think, on our team. I don't know.
It's odd for a center to be of that, mix it up like that.
Our team is like that, right? We have we don't have like traditional players. We have a playmaking winger. We have a sniper as a center. Zibby's more of a playmaker, I think, this season and last, but he's a goal scorer in my mind. You know,
He'll get
But
hot.
he's that-
He'll have like a
he's that
6-goal
role, right?
6-goal game and then be rolling again.
Yeah. The Trocheck's that kind of like that role center, right? Like he's going to be successful here in New York. Like, some of the plays and some of the things that I see him doing with his IQ, I think of Ryan Callahan, just the way he, can dig a puck out of the corner and the way he's looking up ice. It's just like, I kind of see those types of traits in him.
it's a good comparison.
Trocheck's the type of player very similar to Ryan Callahan. Like, you know what you're going to get from him every game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're going to get a solid game from him and then hopefully a goal, an assist, whatever. But you're going to get 100% X amount of face-off wins, things like that. You can always count on him for.
By the way, EA the PA asked again another question. Why didn't I name my new puppy after a Ranger? And the answer to that is that she could text my wife and ask her that. And she'll get the answer. But anyway, so
The answer is because you're soft.
yeah, for sure. I mean, listen,
Shots fired.
That's rough. I mean, that's unfair.
That's rough.
It's
It's not unfair because you're going to do everything for that dog, and she picks the name.
For those of you who think Coach is being tough or whatever, they should see him interact with my wife to see how he acts very soft around her as well. So,
I do. What does that mean?
There you go.
it's just some
know about
banter,
that.
Coach. It's just a little bit of banter.
All right.
But anyway,
I'll give it to you. I'll let you have your moment.
anyway, yeah, I'm not going to get specific here on a live YouTube show. Go off the rails. Anyway, Artemi Panarin, dude, 11-game point streak to start the season. I think he's up to 18 points now on the year. Unbelievable start to the year. Again, just keeps going to the middle of the ice. He's shooting the puck from everywhere. I don't know what else to say about him, Little Ed. I think you're the only one who's going to be correct in your predictions.
My bold prediction.
Yeah.
No, he's well on his way to 100 points, and he's playing hockey the right way, man. Yeah, it's just he's going to fart out points no matter what, like you always say. And he's bringing all the extras, all the intangibles, playing like I said, just playing the game, going to the middle of the ice like we don't normally see, and just things like that. The bald head, he's here. He means business this season.
I
Yeah,
texted
what
you. I was like, I'm shaving my head.
Yeah, let's do it.
I feel like
Not
we all
only-
should.
I'm not.
Not only is he getting the points, he's
Nate,
they're
our boy Nate.
they're meaningful points.
Right.
Yeah,
They're not points.
Yeah.
They're not points in a 6-0 game where he's just putting up 2, 3, 4 points, and these
Garbage
are
goal,
meaningful.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Well, he's
getting
scoring the
meaningful
first goal.
points.
He's scoring the first goal or assisting the first goal, second goal. He's not hanging around for the fourth or the fifth.
Yeah, I mean, I know points are points, but to me, there's a difference.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
When
he's a star. He's a star of the game in almost every game. He's one
He's
of the
been a
three stars
gamer.
in every game.
Yeah, he's bringing it. A lot different
You know-
player than we've seen in the past playoffs. I mean, even last season, he put up 91, 92 points last season? I forget exactly. But, you didn't see him put up the type of points he's putting up this season. You know what I mean? Like we said last episode, it was all perimeter shots, all perimeter passes, lazy dump-ins, whatever, lazy regroups. It's just a much different type of player. I think he definitely brought his game back from his early career, with Chicago and Columbus.
Yeah, I mean, Panarin right now, 18 points, 6 goals, 5 of them at even strength. He's got 4
That's
even
the biggest
strength
thing.
assists. So half his points have been at even strength. He does have 8 power play assists. A lot of those are primary assists, though. I'm pretty sure at least half of them are. So it's not just nonsense. And then you got next on the team is Adam Fox, 11 points. He has 7 more points than the number 2 player on the team. Now Fox missed a game. He probably would have had a 2 or 3 point night, right?
Right.
So whatever. But Kreider at 10, next forward, that's 8 points. That's a big difference. He's really he's really been impactful in carrying this team. And honestly, I think he is entering the conversation for Hart Trophy consideration. If he continues this for the whole season, I think he's in that conversation. I don't know if he's going to win it, but he's in, entering it. So
without a doubt, it's gonna, if he's got to do it for 80 games, that's a big challenge. We'll see.
Yeah. He's playing.
It also depends on obviously what happens around the league. I mean, McDavid's off to you said Hart Trophy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, McDavid's off to a slow start. I mean, hate to wish it on someone, but Hughes is facing a pretty serious injury, it looks like. So there's not many. I don't think there's any news on him yet. So I mean, like, if all the top candidates are not performing, he's going to be right there. I mean, I thought he was right there last year, and like I said, he wasn't playing the same game he's playing this year.
Dude, it's so funny you said McDavid's off to
I think he got some votes.
McDavid's off to a slow start, and he still has 10 points in 8 games. It's like,
well, for him, that's a slow start.
Yeah,
usually he's got 18 like Panarin, 18,
sure.
20 points by now.
No, for sure. I'm just saying.
You don't have to look it up now, but I wonder what he had at this point last season.
Oh, God, I don't know. But he had 153 points. He had 64 goals and 153 points last year. So it's a lot. That's a lot of goals. 64 goals.
Well, the point that I'm making is that they are meaningful goals, and that's what you need playoff. That's got to be your playoff type of mindset.
Yeah.
So he's in. To me, I'm watching him play, and if you listen to Valaket and whoever else, I forget, it was Maloney, I think, said it. They're playing like they're playoff type games. A lot of these Ranger games they're gritty, they're hard fought, a little come from behind. There's no give up. There's a lot going on where they're kind of playoff atmosphere type games early in the season.
Well, a lot of that has to do with like there's no easy opponent anymore in the NHL. I mean, even Arizona is tough to beat. Winnipeg, there's no easy wins anymore in the NHL. It's tough.
Well,
I was going to say San Jose is not looking too great, but we'll see how they do.
What is
that's
going
true.
on with San Jose, man? Jeez, my God! Like,
that's true about tough opponents, but again,
the Rangers lose to them,
games,
they'll end up blowing it.
Playoff type games where Panarin's making right moves, as if it was the playoffs, where he wasn't the last 2 years, in my opinion.
I think that's all he cares about right now, Coach. And honestly, last game I saw 2 giveaways from Panarin, cross-ice passes, and I didn't even care because of the way he's been playing. No, honestly, because of the way he's been playing, like, I'll live with that. If he's playing the way he is right now, he's going to turn the puck over. It's fine, but it's when he's doing that and he's on the perimeter the whole game, he's not really impacting the game, right, in a positive way.
Yeah, but Ed, 2 giveaways cross ice last year was like 7 or 8 a game.
No, but not according to the stats. I don't know who keeps these stats, by the way.
I'm watching the game.
I'm watching after the game.
When you were watching the games, he was giving that in the neutral zone. There was a lot of turnovers, especially against teams like the Devils, Colorado. That's not happening now. Maybe he does do it twice. It's so few that I don't even notice it.
It's not the same type of giveaway.
Right.
Dude, I don't remember if it was Minnesota.
It's more like bang giveaways, I think, like plays. It's not like the lazy cross ice passes. It's not, it's just a much different game. It just doesn't look like the same player at all.
No, he looks like the Hartemi. Remember when they made the Hartemi T-shirts and all that because he was in the Hart consideration. We got Yesby on.
Charlotte just asked where Yesby is from down in Florida, so there he is.
Where's Prusty?
Right on cue.
Prusty's nipping at my feet.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh, there's
Mika.
All right. Mika just floated into the room.
Yep.
It's just like she's just holding him like this. Like, I don't want to be on camera. Here's Mika.
And we got don't forget Cody back there on that cousin Ed's red couch.
Yeah, he's always in here with me.
He's always
in
the spot.
This is when I'm working during the day. This is what he does till like 5:30 p.m. He just sleeps there and snores.
He's chilling.
But yeah, he enjoys it. He enjoys
Anyway,
it.
so
Anyway,
yeah.
what were we talking about? Oh yeah,
Oscar, what do you say about Breadman?
I'm sneezing right now. All these cats, man. Whew, man. I'm deathly allergic, guys. Give me a break.
Yeah.
No, for Breadman, I'm so happy. Like, I mean, the turnovers is always like, every time I'm like, how much are we paying this guy to turn over the puck? How many times, a period? But I've been seeing the back checking out of him. I've been seeing kind of, those tape to tape passes. Granted that Carolina, that backhand pass, over to Kreider was just like, are you kidding me? Like
That was
everybody just
insane.
stood up. Everybody just stood up in the garden in disbelief and just screamed like, "Holy crap, that just happened!" Like it was awesome. So yeah, I've been happy with Artemi, and I'm hoping just this bug, this health bug doesn't expand anymore, because that's the one thing that I was really really afraid of with Laviolette was how many players got hurt when he was in Washington and how many injuries he had, and I just hope that bug stayed in Washington and didn't travel with him up to Midtown. So I'm hoping
You
that
think it might be
he
his
can stay
style of play
healthy.
that causes some injuries? His
Who
style of
knows? Who
coaching?
knows? His style of coaching, his style of practice. Who knows? I mean, I like to think those guys have the world class trainers and know exactly what to look for and what not to do with a player. But then again, Jim Ramsey gets fired. He was with the Rangers for forever. So I just hope they all stay healthy. That's really all I want. It's just this team to stay healthy, stay together, and give us a chance in the spring.
I don't know. I don't know if the coaching could have that much to do with the injuries. I mean, their big injury was Backstrom being out, and they had a couple other guys out, but they've been
they had
missing.
Carlson out, Backstrom was out, Oshie was
Right,
out,
but I don't think it
Mantha
was
was
because of
out,
their style.
Wilson was out. The whole
I
team
don't
was
think it was
hurt.
because but it wasn't because of Laviolette. Those guys play hard.
Well, he's saying
You know,
because of the coaching, if you practice hard, you're more likely, to build endurance for long term, right? So you'll build up the strength and the endurance long term, but it could lead to short term injuries, like in the meantime while you're building that up. And also, he plays a very defensive game, blocking shots.
Yeah,
It's more physical. I mean,
sacrificing
definitely.
the bodies big time.
Yeah,
Big on his book.
yeah. I
there's
mean, I think he could
there's
impact it.
there's a fine line in like a couple of our players are like, can we do these drills where we dump the puck in the corner and guys have to battle it out? And what you're saying, I was a little nervous about. So I always kind of put it off. The first time we do it, within 2 minutes, two guys went to the ground hurt. No, nothing bad, but I'm like, you happy now? Now we got two guys that are on the bench putting ice on this, so it's a fine line. Like Laviolette talks about the high competitive practice. You want the guys to be in that high compete level and competitive atmosphere, but you got to draw the line somewhere, and it's hard because they have to be like that game in and game out with that compete level,
Right.
and you want to keep it, but it's hard. It's a lot of luck, I think. Where the players are smart in practice and they're not overextending what they should do, and they, like I would tell my players, guys, we're doing a controlled scrimmage. I want you to finish checks. I don't want you to kill the guy, but if you're in position to make the hit, just finish it a little bit. Know that you could hit harder, but don't just skate away. Get in the mindset of finishing it. And the players should be ready to take that hit also. That's part of the reason why there are these injuries. Guys don't give into it and just take the hit, in my opinion. They try to fight it off. Like if Fox just stands there and Aho comes at him and he just lifts his stick and kind of cross-checks him a little, no knee injury. But because he has that mindset where I'm going to get away from it and then deke him a little, he goes knee on knee. Lindgren does the same thing a lot. He fights things, and instead of taking the hit, that to me, that's what happens a lot. These guys just think they can do it all.
It puts yourself in a vulnerable position for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say Fox put himself in a vulnerable position on that play. I think that's wild. But
I didn't say it's a vulnerable position. I said, but if he just takes the hit and then moves around them, it doesn't happen.
That play looked like a tic-tac play to me, though. He looked like he wanted to get it to the corner, beat Aho, get the puck back in the slot. That's
right.
what could have.
Because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if he just takes the hit, then does that,
stay in position. Yeah.
He could have did it 2 seconds later. He could have like brushed Aho off and then went around him. but he was trying to get that edge, you know.
I'm thinking of the line from Miracle where he goes, you know, where you're from, and he goes, "I'm from wherever's not going to get me hit," like that. That's what I'm thinking right now. I used to hate getting hit,
Yeah.
so
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Not
All right,
fun.
let's jump over for the fans. We're well into the episode now. Let's jump over to our jersey reveal. Oscar, jersey reveal.
which one?
Time.
Wait, which one do we want to talk about?
I
Yeah.
spy some. I didn't really recognize the one over there in the top right there. I don't know.
That's me.
Yeah, it's
that's not Oscar. There we go.
So yeah, you know, this one right over there, right? That one
Yeah, I
got me
think so.
in some trouble. So yeah, no, I just
so
wanted to
tell us
kind
the
of put
story.
these up. Yeah, I put these up really to just, you know, obviously I love alternate jerseys. I love the jerseys that the Rangers wear when it's not, you know, your typical you know, your classic one that we've had for 100 years now, right? That diagonal Rangers that we've got going across New York. So you know, I kind of put all the Liberties together right behind me, just kind of smush them together because you know what we got with the Liberties. And then in the middle we have the Stadium Series, the Heritage, the Winter Classic, another Stadium Series, and then my favorite of all time is the Turn Back the Clock from 1991. And then there's this, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this. I think I told you a little bit of the story, Ed. I got a
Yes.
message from, you know, one of my followers saying, you know, what is this? Is this legit? And I'm like, oh boy, like this can't be it. And then I saw it on Reddit, and I'm like, well, you know, this has to be some sort of sick joke. Like this can't be it. I asked around, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get a straight answer. And then I get a DM from, you know, one of the guys that follows me. He goes, "Hey, I'm on my way to pick up the jersey. I'll let you know what I have." And I'm like, all right, well, first of all, be careful, because it was on Offer Up. So it like started this controversy on, you know, on Reddit, like what the hell is this? So he hits me up. It's late at night. He's in California. It's late at night. And he goes, "I got the jersey. I'll send you some pictures when I get home." Apparently he drove like over an hour to meet up with this guy. And this guy pulls up apparently on a longboard. He rolls up on a
Oh, boy.
longboard and he's got this garbage bag over his shoulder filled with, you know, goodies in this bag and a bunch of these jerseys. And he makes the transaction, you know, he hits me up and he goes, "I got the jersey. I'll send you pictures when I get home." And I'm like, I got to see this. And I stayed up, and it's late, you know, it's late here because, you know, the time difference. But I'm like, oh my God, that's it. And like all day, I couldn't get anybody to tell me from like anywhere, like, is this legit? Is this legit? Just a bunch of, you know, no's, can't confirm. And I said, shit, I would have, you know, I would have wired this guy all the, you know, money to get all of them out of that garbage bag because it turns out he had 30. I hit
Oh
him
my
up. I
God.
hit the guy up, and he goes, "Yeah, I've got 30 of them." I would have bought all 30 of them and had them shipped to me here, and just like, you know, I would have left them here in the shop, and then I would have hit up some people in the Rangers. And I'm like, you know, here's the ransom money. Here's my list of demands. No. I would have probably like held on to it. I would have held on to it. And you know, I wouldn't want to, you know, piss anybody off over there. I would have said, "Hey, you know, I've got it. I want, you know, it's already been out in the world. I want to keep it here until you guys are ready to unveil it." But it was just a wild, wild story. And then that was over the weekend. And then Thursday night, we're going to the game. And my buddy goes, "Are you going to wear the jersey?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to wear the jersey," because I had it overnighted to me. The guy overnighted it to me. I paid for the overnight. And that's when you guys all saw the video on my Instagram saying, you know, I got the jersey in hands, and it's growing on me. It really is. It was a little, you know, a little rough at first, but it's really growing on me. But there's some things that we could definitely have done a little better on that jersey. But fast forward to
So
Thursday. Go ahead, Ed.
no, go ahead. No. Okay, no. Finish the story. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So fast forward to Thursday, and we're getting ready to go see the Hurricanes, the Hurricane game. And my buddy goes, "You're gonna wear the jersey?" And I'm like, "Nah, I'm wearing my my white All-Star game jersey that I crest swapped. So the one that, you know, they didn't sell." And my buddy goes, "All right, you know, my girl wants to wear it." And I'm like, "Absolutely, here you go. You can take it. You can wear it." And we meet up at the bar, and then we're like, all right, let's go in. And some
It's
people are
risky.
looking like, what the hell is this? Like, what the hell jersey is this? Like, oh, what is that? I guess people haven't seen, all over Twitter yet. And we're going up the escalator after we get in, and we pull up on the concourse and we go get a drink. And who are the first people we see when we get on the concourse? It's the MSG people that are responsible for jerseys and apparel.
No
And
Oh
way.
my God.
they dude, it was like you couldn't have written this up, and they froze. They just froze, and they started taking pictures of her, and they're on the phone call, and all I heard is the jersey is here, and I'm like, oh shit, all right. And then the one knows me, the one recognizes me. She goes, "You." I'm like, "Oh God,
Oh,
this is
no.
my nightmare. This is my nightmare." And I'm like, "Look, I want you to know how many are out there." So I told her the story, and I told her how many are out there and where it came from. And she just looked like I ran over her cat, bro. It was like, I like completely betrayed her. I betrayed the Rangers. And I'm like, I'm not the leaker. I'm not the one who stole the jersey. Like, I just had access. I had somebody that reached out to me out in California where they were stolen. And she's just looking at me like I swear, if she yelled security, they could have easily handcuffed me and thrown me like in the back of an NYPD squad car. Like it was,
She
This
didn't
sa-
even take-
I could not believe it.
This sounds like behind the Iron Curtain. Like this sounds like smuggling. This sounds like smuggling Alexander Mogilny out of the hotel room and into the Buffalo Sabres training facility. And you
My
and Eddie
question
Gel,
is, why would you let her wear it?
Yeah, why would you do that?
It didn't.
Jeopardizing your reputation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, and like I had posted a picture and I took it down. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna even. It's probably not real, and I took down the picture. I'm like, let me find out until I get a little more information. I don't want to be posting, garbage posts or something that probably, a rumor that isn't even, because I know we had talked about, what the rumors were that we're getting a third jersey, and we all got excited. We're like, oh, we're getting a third jersey. We love it. In addition to the Stadium Series, and I was like, you know what? Somebody else in the Garden is going to have this jersey on. It is what it is. So I let her wear it, and then, oh my God, like that, like I just could not believe that those were the people that we first run into when we get off of the escalator to get on the concourse. You couldn't have written up this nightmare.
So were you the only one, or were you right?
What?
Were you the only one? Were you right?
Yeah, so far. I mean, I've seen a bunch of people already posted. Somebody even
I'm saying at the
posted
Garden. Was anyone wearing it in the Garden?
I didn't see anybody else wearing it at
Yeah,
the
I would
Garden.
say probably not.
So out of 18,000 people, we were the first group to bring it into the Garden.
So are they just they're not for sale yet?
No.
They haven't even been unveiled. Like nobody, like, we don't even know when the campaign, like, for them to, remember last year how they announced the Liberty jersey for, the reverse retro, and then they started trolling us in the Garden. Like they started putting it on fans behind Henrik Lundqvist or some like VIP. And then you saw the video on the Jumbotron, and, the VIP person saying hi, and then the Liberty jerseys behind. And then what like irked me off the most last season was they gave it to Dancing Larry, and Dancing Larry's up there dancing in the new reverse retro. And I'm like, I want to buy this thing. Like, why can't I buy this thing right now? And meanwhile, this guy's like dancing in it. And I'm like, what the hell? And then they announced, they announced it like, you'll be able to buy it next month. And we were like, oh, okay. So my thing is they'll probably get ready to announce it in the next couple of weeks, and then we won't be able to buy it until like December. They usually takes a while, but I have my conspiracies. I have my theories as to why this jersey got leaked. But that'll be for another day.
What if they decide, because this happened, to just scrap it and go with a different jersey now?
I wouldn't be upset about it, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't.
The majority of people, the comments that you see online have been very negative, but I think we got to give it a chance. I think it's going to be a really good looking jersey on the ice. I'm told it's only going to last 2 seasons. You know, so we'll have to transfer it to the new Fanatics template next season. But yeah, let's give it a chance. Let's see how it looks. On the
Could you
I'm
big
a
screen.
walk me through
That's like
why
a fish
or
sticks
how?
jersey.
Yeah, walk me through how or why it's growing on you. I can't get past the sleeves. I can't get past all those little
I don't like
stripes and
it
the
at all.
sublimation.
Can we
I
see
can't-
it closer, or are we not allowed?
Can you bring it up closer or no?
I'd rather not. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we can bring it closer.
It's already up
We
there.
can.
I mean, can't go. Yeah.
I mean,
You
all's I'm
wore it at the
picturing in my
garden.
Oscar, someone's knocking on your door.
Yeah. All of a sudden, we see a SWAT team coming in and arrest Oscar.
think-
All I
I
see
think-
is all I
Yeah.
see
Like
is
in
Oscar
Glove- like
like
in the movie
Mission
Glove.
Impossible. Mission
Yeah.
Impossible with the cables on, and he like bounces into
it's-
this room.
I'm gonna get swatted. Watch, I'm gonna get swatted for this
The
one day. I'm gonna
Fanatics
jump on
factory
another
in
stream.
California.
I'm gonna jump on another live stream with you, and then there's gonna be a banging at the door, and it's gonna be the SWAT,
Yeah.
coming in, and I've got somebody held up here. But this is what I've got held up, and then they'll leave it, they'll leave with
That's
it.
wild. Wild.
But yeah,
Dude,
no,
wow.
I really
Horrible.
want to
That's
know
horrible.
what this means. I want to know what this means.
That's
you can't
horrible.
even tell. You can't even tell with the royal blue, because it's gonna get like, you're really gonna lose the royal blue with the navy.
Yeah, I
but
can't even see that. It's not. A great
Lift it up a
color.
little. Lift it up a little. Yeah. Horrible.
So
Yeah,
it's like
so.
it's like sublimated there, and then these lines. It's like, I want to know what it means. Like the red, white, blue. What's the story behind it?
Yeah, I
But
don't
the crest,
understand
the
why
crest
they have to-
itself is beautiful.
Why do they have to mix in the navy? They could have just made it the nice blue. I don't know, man. And all those stripes, unless they come out with something where it's like meaningful to this and like.
The
I don't
worst
know.
part,
Show
though,
the,
the worst part
show
is
this-
the kit. That's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's just lazy, in my opinion.
What is it? A nameplate?
The
No,
kit is
just the
just
white
one layer.
lettering,
It's
just
just one
blue,
layer of
just-
white lettering.
Oh yeah.
no 3D letters like they usually have on their jersey. What does he say?
Yeah.
That bagel dough. That jersey really
Oh,
needs
yeah.
the natural lighting to help its appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The garden lights always
Andrew,
helps with any
so
jersey.
it's funny. Andrew's the guy out in California who hit me up. He goes, I'm picking it up. So he's on the live stream right now. I told him about the live stream. So shout out to you, Andrew. Like him and I were going back and forth. I told him, I was like, hey man, you're gonna want to join the live stream. So
Show
he was the one who
the
hooked me up.
subway tile on
Make
the
sure we
collar.
get our story
That's the only
straight. on the
part.
live stream.
It's the only part I can get behind. So it says blue shirts with the subway tile. I like that. Other than that, I don't know, man. The crest obviously is beautiful, but
The navy blue.
can't get behind the colors.
The navy blue doesn't bother me so much because the Rangers have incorporated navy blue in their color scheme, for a while. I mean, the Liberty jersey was in the 90s. That was navy blue. The Winter Classic had a navy blue and like a darker red.
Yeah.
On like that.
So I've got
off-white
a-
cream
Even
color.
one or the other. I don't think they should be going for both. I mean, last
I
year
agree. The regular
didn't like
blue and the navy mix is weird.
I didn't like the Liberty last year, but I let it slide. It grew on me eventually. But this one, I don't know, man. I feel
Is
like
that
that blue is
crest-
not even like Ranger blue. I feel like it's like off too.
Is that crest regular Rangers blue or is it navy?
No,
It's
it's
navy.
navy.
Like inside the crest is navy,
Yeah, so
it's
that crest
navy.
has never been navy.
right? The crest that I was going to
That's why.
say.
That's why I wore this shirt. That's why I wore this shirt. This is like the.
Yeah.
It's always been the Ranger blue
I think it's gonna
color for the
I think it's
crest.
gonna look. Yeah, I think it's gonna look good on the ice. I think a lot of people. I have a feeling people will like it on the garden ice.
Paul says when you look at the
You got
sleeve
some-
stripes, first look at the larger red, white, and blue stripes, then look within each one. All right, hold it closer on the sleeve stripe. Let's try this.
Is that silver?
First look at the larger red, white, and blue stripes. Then look within each one.
Now, what about it? Okay.
All right. Do you want us to? You want my eyes to go crossed, Paul?
He says seems to be past and present stripe patterns within the main red, white, and royal blue ones. Oh, that's interesting. So it's like a combination of all the Ranger stripes on their sleeves, I guess, throughout time. That might.
But
make
it gets
sense.
Too many
lost. Though.
stripes.
The blue
Too many
gets lost
stripes.
though with the navy. Like
Way too much of a thought process.
Yeah, I can't. No, I like where their head's at. And Paul, thank you for pointing that out to us. But it's
That's
really
interesting.
like Oscar said, that blue just gets lost in the Navy. You can't tell. You can't see it well at all.
I have a pair of pants here too. Let's see how it looks like with the pants.
What, they got new pants also?
Oscar's got leaked pants. No, they're probably just the regular. They never change their pants.
Oh,
Eddie just likes the subway tile, like Lindsay said.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
nice.
it doesn't look
That
that
looks
bad.
good.
I
That
think
looked
it's
pretty
gonna be
good, I'm not
fine.
gonna
Man.
lie. No, it's.
I think
like I said,
think
the
whoever-
stripes, just I can't get past the stripes. And
I
do they
think
have to
whoever
sub
designed
baby?
whoever designed that should be fired immediately.
I'm not shocked by coach's
Horrible.
opinion.
Yeah, so
Paul has
I
left
mean,
the chat.
for me, I like it, but I mean, let's.
So are you gonna get in
I mean,
trouble with
history's repeating
MSG for
itself.
doing this?
I've already, I'm sure I've already gotten in trouble, but I can't believe I got. I got torn into by these people, you know, against the Hurricane game, and that kind of pissed me off because I wish they would kind of be just as upset about, you know, the counterfeit jerseys that make it out into the Garden than, you know, this thing. But that's another story. I mean, for me, you know, history is kind of repeating itself, right, Coach? You know, when you and I talk about the Fergie uniform back in '76, you know,
I love that
that
uniform when
had,
they came out
but
with it.
that had just as much anger from people when it came out, and especially Jim. And then, you know, Ferguson really goes and kind of shits on the traditional jersey, saying the only thing I see is ANGERS, and I'm like, what do you like? That quote to me was like ridiculous, and then people really hated the jersey for 2 seasons, and then they you know, he ships up north and brings the jersey up to Winnipeg when they get in, you know, introduced into the National Hockey League. But then, you know, after that, we don't see the jersey again until I think 2003, 2004, where we had the vintage series. Remember, we had a couple games during that season where we had, you know, Jaromir Jagr. I remember him wearing it. Mike Dunham wearing that jersey. We only wore it for about 4 or 5 games. And then the lockout season the following year. And then one of my buddies actually pointed out that Henrik Lundqvist, there's a picture of Henrik Lundqvist wearing that jersey, that vintage jersey. But because of the lockout, you know, they scrapped that. And then Reebok started making the jerseys.
Well, maybe you could get one of your boys to get a duffel bag filled of those Henrik Lundqvist pictures so he could sign it up at the Hall of Fame.
Should I bring the jersey? Should I bring the jersey up to Toronto?
Oh, yeah, that'll be good.
No,
bring it across
you
the
should
border.
not.
Yeah, bring it across the border.
You should leave it right where it is.
It'll be like Midnight Express. They won't let Oscar back into the country. He'll be against the wall.
I'll be on the no-fly list.
I'm not barred in Canada, so
yeah. But yeah, this is exciting. Like, this is an exciting time. You know, we have to think the last like true alternative jersey we had was 2010, right? We got to look back where we had that event that season at Rockefeller Center where we had Hank and Chris Drury as captain and unveiling that heritage jersey, which I love, you know, where they put the established in 1926 and then they put the retired numbers at the bottom of the inside. Like, I loved that jersey. That was
great. That's
a beautiful
a great jersey.
And that jersey also had controversy. Remember, that jersey leaked because Sean Avery posted a picture of himself in that jersey on his blog. He was just standing there with his glasses. So it leaked in September, and they were supposed to announce and have this event at Rockefeller Center in November. So I'm sure the Rangers were probably just as pissed, if not more pissed at him as they are with me right now.
Listen, they keep everything under wraps.
That one for sure.
They keep everything under wraps. You know, nothing comes out of this organization. We can't even find out, you know, any rumors or ever about this team. But these jerseys just magically, you know, they can't keep that part of the organization tight.
Where did this kid get these jerseys from?
The story
Nobody
is
knows.
that,
let's just leave it. at that.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
We'll
talk about it.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
it.
And
I don't want to. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Toronto. Yeah, we're going to be spending a lot of time in Toronto together.
Yeah.
Listen,
Um,
funny story with Oscar when we're at the game. We go to the game opening night, right? And Kathy's there, and Eddie gives Kathy a bunch of
Oh, this is
Rangers Ed
good.
pins to gives Kathy a bunch of Rangers Ed pins to give out. Kathy knows who Oscar is, but doesn't realize that like the jerseys he wears are, real stuff. So Kathy's trying to pin a pin on Oscar's jersey. It was like she was doing it like it was a butcher knife trying to get this pin in. It's like multiple stabs and Oscar's just sitting there looking at me like, do I
help me.
say anything? And she must have put 20 holes in the jersey with the pin.
It was
She
my
kept
authentic
missing it. I made
1994
sure.
All-Star Game jersey. My Mark Messier signed All-Star Game jersey.
She has
from
no
94.
idea what she's doing. She's like, "Oh, put a pin on," and she's just like stabbing it, trying to get it through.
how did you not stop her?
I don't know.
She didn't actually. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh my god!
It was just
All right,
comical because we knew what it was,
Wow. All right, so that's our big jersey reveal. Oscar,
He's
thanks for
having a
doing
panic
that.
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got to move on from all this. So I'm starting to sweat. Anyway, all this is
We got
making me
one more.
sweat. All right.
A lot
Guys,
of
we have one
breaking of
more
the law. A
episode.
lot of breaking of the law on this episode.
Yeah, well, like I don't want to be here. I'll see you guys later. Like Jesus.
As a lawyer,
Um,
this is probably your worst nightmare.
Yeah, this is. I don't know anything you guys are doing. I'm not involved in any of this stuff. Anyway,
We're sponsored by a law firm. We're okay.
It's only that
Wait till he
sponsorship's coming
finds
right
out.
down.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the broadcast banter.
It's a power play goal.
All right, so who wants to go first? I got a couple.
Go ahead, take it away.
All right, so end of the first period against Minnesota. Quick makes a huge save and it's like a flurry of activity by Minnesota. And Sam says, "Oh, wild moment there. Pardon the pun."
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, classic.
Pardon
So
my
good.
pun. And then earlier in the game, right, when Gustafsson scored, he goes, "The Rangers, Gustafsson scores on Wild, Gustafsson." You just pronounced it slightly differently, I think.
Oh
That was
my
fun.
god.
That was
so
my favorite
good.
of the weekend.
Oh man, it was
The only
it
one
was so
the only
good.
one I had was Micheletti going on and on about University of Minnesota beat Minnesota Duluth.
No,
Plays
the
going up and
Minnesota
down the ice.
the Minnesota
North
connection.
Dakota.
How many times they showed Keandre Miller's family in the booth in like the box sad, and then he goes, "Oh, that must have been expensive," and "Oh, Miller's whole family's and friends are here." Miller with the puck in front of his whole family takes it in like
Yeah,
whole
They must
game.
have said Minnesota native 37 times in the first 2 minutes of the game.
And then the
Between
trivia
him,
question.
Brodzinski,
Yeah.
and the trivia question.
Lindgren.
Who's the other
I
player?
think, no, Lindgren's
Lindgren.
from Minnesota. Yeah, Lindgren, I think.
I think
So
it
they
was
said
Lindgren.
he said the trivia question was about which Minnesota native scored like a in Minnesota or something like that. And Sam gets it wrong, and then Micheletti goes, "Ryan McDonough," and it was McDonough. And then Sam goes, "He was Mr. Minnesota, wasn't he?" And I was just like, "What is going on?" Joe knows way too much about Minnesota, man. It is a great state. I went there. It's really an incredible place.
He's from there too, right?
Is
Yeah, he
Micheletti?
played
That
at
might be
University of Minnesota.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Sam said
that's
earlier in the
Sam.
game, and don't forget about you, Joe, something like that. He's
Yeah.
like, "You're homecoming too," or something. He said it early on, probably before the Taco Bell take.
It really is a cool state. And its nickname is the state of hockey, obviously for the United States. But what I found interesting after seeing how big hockey is there is and when the North Stars moved, there wasn't a team there for a long time. And how can the league allow that? That's the only thing I'll say. Like if Minnesota's that big if hockey's that big in Minnesota and it's called the state of hockey, there should always be a team in that state. There just should be an NHL team there. Period. End of story. So that was a big interesting thing I thought. But anyway. All right. Any more banter or are you guys ready for stars of the week?
Oscar, you got one or not?
No, I just want to say that Joe clip where he like repeated the line where he was like beat North Dakota. When he said it like back to back to back, I like legit picked up my device. I'm like, oh crap, I think my network is messing up on me. Like he actually trolled me. He fooled me when he said it back to back. And I'm like, oh crap, there goes my Wi-Fi again. And I'm like, oh, this guy
He said it like
me.
he said it like 3 times.
Three
It
times,
it wasn't North Dakota. It's Minnesota Duluth. That's the big rivalry.
okay. Yeah, when he
University
said
of
that, I was
Minnesota
like,
versus Minnesota
like,
Duluth.
damn, I got to reboot this MSG app that I paid stupid amount of money for the season for.
Yeah,
Oh man, that app has a lot of issues, man.
I don't even want to.
First of all,
you need a whole episode to talk about that BS.
The audio, the commercials are so loud. Like, who is in charge of that?
Yeah.
Why are the commercials so loud? I mean, there's generally an audio problem in all TV and movies where music is really loud, and then the people speaking whisper, especially in movies. Like it's like dun dun, and the people are like, so. And I'm like, I'm constantly lowering and raising the volume, turning on and off the closed caption in everything I watch. But that is just horrendously like they need to connect the audio to the commercials. I'm sorry, it's really insane. The audio of the game to the commercials needs to be the same. Anyway, I'm done.
And,
this has been Cousin Ed's grind my gears.
A new grind my gears moment. But the thing about Minnesota. I wanted to ask Coach, Coach, do they use USA Hockey rules? Do they operate under USA Hockey rules for all their youth programs? Because I thought back in the day they were like,
what goes on.
I'm gonna look into that because I thought back in the day they were like, yeah, we make our own rules. We're not under USA Hockey rules.
Well, New England did that too. Boston area had their own when Eddie was playing travel
back in the day.
Not back in the day, in the 90s. You weren't allowed to hit
back in
Long Island hockey.
30 years ago.
Long Island hockey, you weren't allowed to throw a body check until Pee Wee. But we would go to tournaments and you played in we used to go up to what do you call it, outside of Boston. And any of the Boston area teams were throwing body checks.
Marlboro.
And the kids,
Marlboro.
Yeah, Marlboro. Yeah, the kids didn't know what was going on. And they were like, well, that's the rules here. Well, blah, blah. Well, how could that be?
Half the team gets concussed.
Yeah.
I want to say, yeah, we'd have to definitely look into that. But my guess would be is USA Hockey's kind of more of a blanket thing nowadays, for sure.
Yeah, their high school level hockey is like New England also, where it's just as important or more important than travel.
Yeah.
All right,
the games are televised.
Let's move on to our stars of the week. All right, let's start with our offensive player of the week. Let's start with Mikey Produces. I want to see your offensive player of the week. Who you got?
Like I said, I think I said it last episode. I'm not taking his name off of the board until he starts playing like garbage, but I'm giving it to the bread man.
Same.
Until he ruins his point streak. Hell yeah.
I went with the bread man
all the way. Sure. Oscar, what do you got for offensive player of the week?
Oscar's frozen there.
He's either very stoic. He's either very stoically ignoring us or he's frozen. So we gotta all pitch in. So we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Oscar's Wi-Fi, I think.
Yeah, Oscar,
he's talking about
he might have
Wi-Fi. He might have for a free jersey.
He might have just got.
Oh man!
Yeah, they might have just stormed the.
Yeah, they might have just taken him, shut down his internet. Right. Too late, though, boys.
Defensive player of the week, Little Ed. Start us off. Who's your defensive player of the week?
I'm going with Trouba. Yeah, I got a bunch of points this stretch. Not a bunch, but a point per game. No, not against the Wild, but either way. And every time I look up, he's blocking a shot or killing a big penalty. Big clears all the time. I don't see a lot of mistakes coming from our captain.
Yeah, I like that pick. He had the big play on the game-winning goal against Carolina. That was a huge win. But I went with the Goose Man.
Me too.
Who had to step up in Fox's absence and run the power play. And It's just I just like his game right now. I think he was important. Coach, you took Goose also?
Yeah, I mean, Trouba's play that assist he got was a beautiful play for sure, and he's definitely playing, I think, the best he's played as a Ranger. But Gustafson just stepping into that pair with Lindgren and his all-around play this season, it's just coming to fruition.
All right, and Mikey went with Trouba. All right, the Jesper Fast Key Contributor Award. Let's go to. Can we take Jesper Fast off it now that he knocked Chytil out, or do we have to?
You're the only one that says it.
All right, the key contributor award, Coach Ed.
Well, the Quickie Award goes to Quickie. That Minnesota game. That Minnesota game was. I watched the third period this morning, and it was just phenomenal.
It was an onslaught by Minnesota. 40 shots on goal.
40 shots.
The Rangers had 18 shots on goal.
That's not
18 shots.
40 shots on goal, and they blocked 26. Also,
you look so good in the first period.
32 block shots, the Rangers.
32? Okay. It was 26 after 2 periods, maybe.
So they gave up 72
and
shots.
What did Trouba have? 21 of those? 22?
Yeah, probably. Benino had the other half.
Fantasy. Unbelievable.
Mikey, who's your key contributor?
I'm giving it to Will the Thrill.
Yeah, me and Mikey on par this episode.
Real.
I'm giving it to Cooley, and I drew a little snowflake. We got to come up with a good emoji for Cooley in the chat.
I like that.
Snowflake,
I like
or
what about a koozie?
Emoji. The emoji.
I went with Kreider.
Kreider, man.
I think Kreider is just a little bit overshadowed offensively right now by Panarin. And he's not quite a key contributor, typical like a Cooley or
Oscar's back.
A guy like Quick would be. But I think he's just so important to the team. That deflection to tie the game against Minnesota to steal that point was unbelievable. He does it all game. He creates goals for other people by being in front of the net. So I went with Kreider, man. Hey, welcome back, Oscar.
Sorry, boys. As soon as you said, let's go to the Stars.
Yeah, who's your offensive player and defensive player?
Oh, that would be our crustless bread man, for sure for offense, because he's just amazing. I was gonna give it to Foxy because that performance in Vancouver was I really liked Fox, how he was everywhere, all over. Are we going on a week now? I think from that game.
Yeah, we're not including that game in this lineup though.
Oh, okay. So then Troops for sure. And then I'm with Coach on that for Quick on key contributor.
Like that.
Nice, I like it.
All right, let's move on to our highlight play of the week. Little less ready with his board, so I'm going to go to him. He looks very eager. So let's see what you got.
Not really. No particular, not for any reason, but I'm going with Panarin's pass, no-look pass to Kreider in front of the net against Carolina. I mean, to make that pass, he wasn't just blindly throwing in front of the net. He knew exactly where Kreider was. He didn't even have to look up to make the pass. He just put it right in the spot, and Kreider was there for the easy tap-in back door. And it's just unbelievable. The way he's playing, it's just everything's clicking for him, and it's because of hard work.
Yeah. No, that was a great play for sure. That was one of my top two. Mikey, what do you got?
I'm giving Will the Thrill more love. I'm giving it to his game-winning goal. And got to give some love to Trouba for making that play. Because without Trouba, he's not scoring. So,
yeah, for sure. Oscar, what's your highlight play?
Cooley as well, man. Burying that game winner. Place went absolutely bananas in the Garden. So, definitely got to give him that award.
Yeah, I went with the Zibby goal against Winnipeg, which we did live on the podcast. Number one, it was really cool to actually react live on the podcast. So I feel like there was some extra oomph to it. But also Zibby's been struggling to score. Panarin, great pass, great goal. And it just was nice. That was a huge goal. So I gave it to that one as a fan. but I think the Panarin pass was probably the most skilled play of the week, right? But Coach, what do you got?
I'm going to agree with you that Panarin pass was phenomenal. Backhand from the corner to the other side of the goal. The defenseman was just in shock. It looked like that pass was even made. But
just the strength
I'm
to
giving
make that pass in the backhand was.
I'm giving it to my boy Wheels, dishing it to Gustafson on the back end. I thought that was a great play, a heads-up play, and
Unreal, Coach Ed. It's unreal.
It was a great play. Everybody thought he was going to try to force it to the front of the net, and you watch his head. He turned and looked, and he gave it to Gustafson and just ripped it.
Yeah, it was a nice pass, nice shot.
He didn't do it. He didn't do that by accident.
No, definitely not.
All right, let's move on to the coach. Go ahead.
Kudos to Gustafson. If you watch that replay, he catches the pass, looks up, and puts it right in that corner. He didn't just like fire it. He looked up and he picked it. It was a nice play.
Yeah, no, it was a nice pass for sure. It's nice to see Wheeler get his first point of the season in Game 11, so I'm really happy about that. All right, Coach Ed's copyright Doghouse Award, what everyone's waiting for, sponsored by Suiter's Sweet Treats. So before we start doing our Doghouse Award, I thought I'd show that I don't know if I showed this already, but I redid my what is this called again, Ed? Shadow box. So you can see the Cousin Ed cookie. I don't know if I showed this yet, but I'm showing it again.
No, you did. It looks beautiful.
Filipino cracked cookie. Apropos.
And he got hurt.
I jinxed Chytil with the cracked cookie.
There you go. The jinx lives on.
The cookie, the detail on these cookies is unbelievable.
Yep. Shout out to Suiter's Sweet Treats for always providing us with the fantastic cookies. Go to her Instagram, @Suiter's Sweet Treats. Place your order via DM. And use promo code EDPOD for 10% off and a free Doghouse cookie, which you can see on my screen right now. And that's Coach Ed's Doghouse right there, and not too shabby. And they taste delicious as well. So head on over to Suiter's Sweet Treats and place your order.
My kids love those cookies. We get packages from Meg, biggest sweetheart. We love her. My wife and I, we love her so much. But my kids love seeing a package from Megan in the mail, and we just first thing they do is like, all right, let's not eat the Ranger cookie. So they'll eat the Flyers jersey, they'll eat the Boston jersey. They'll let me eat the Rangers cookie. But yeah, my kids. Huge shout out to Megan. They love her, and they love those cookies every time we get them in the mail.
Yep, a lot of new flavors. A lot of new flavors coming out. Meg told me today, so she's shipping out some new flavors for us to try and to promote for her. So can't wait for that package to come through.
Awesome. All right, so Coach Ed, it's your Doghouse. I'm going to let you start. Let's put Coach Ed big on the screen, Mikey. Coach, you got last week you had Capo Caco alone in the Doghouse. Is Capo Caco out of the Doghouse?
Not even close.
He's
not out.
Close. Is he alone in the Doghouse?
No, he's not, but he's getting the first line minutes, and nothing's going up on the board. He's got to be doing something, and I don't even really see him being the reason why, like an unofficial assist or anything like that. So it's a little disheartening. He's got to wake up. He's got to start showing him a little bit more. I don't know how wide this.
Show us the Doghouse.
Well, no, because he's not in the front row of the Doghouse. He's in the back. He's got his own little room in the corner right now.
So who'd you put in?
What do you think?
I guess.
He's back in.
How did someone go in the Doghouse for getting injured? I just don't understand your logic.
The logic is
he's so
come on.
Why isn't Fox in there?
That's
so
fresh
soft.
That's fresh out of Little Ed's workshop. The custom Coach Ed's Doghouse with the trading card in there for the Doghouse of the week.
Dumb.
Too good. That is too good.
It is so dumb. It makes no sense. It diminishes the whole award.
Oh, that is
Getting
so
his
good.
getting his second line minutes and finally gets promoted and blows it.
You gotta swap out that picket fence for barbed wire, please. Please.
Hilarious.
They don't sell
All
barbed
right.
wire on Amazon, Oscar. Sorry.
All right, Oscar, who's in your doghouse this week?
Oh man. Who's in my doghouse? I haven't even thought this one through because I think it's just gonna be. I think I'm gonna be in the doghouse for the rest of the season with the New York Rangers.
Oh boy.
He puts himself in the doghouse.
I would say the person in the doghouse. I mean, it's got to be me, right? It's got to be me with this jersey.
He's doing it.
I love
Bringing
it.
it,
That's so
bringing it
funny.
to the Garden. Yeah, bringing it to the Garden
man.
on Thursday.
It's just
was,
that one decision to wear the. Well, there's multiple decisions.
Not a
you should be
good
in the
career
doghouse for.
move.
Yeah. Oscar puts himself in the doghouse. Unbelievably funny.
Wait. I got one more to add to the doghouse. One more. The people who designed that jersey.
There you
All right.
go.
Okay, Coach. So they're never going to leave the doghouse. That's the problem.
No.
Little Ed.
No, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna
Last-
grow on me.
Last week you had Capo Caco in the doghouse. Is he out of the doghouse?
Nah, he's staying in solo. Wheeler got his point. Fourth line's playing well. Can't put Chytil in the doghouse for being soft. He's not going to get any harder in the doghouse, that's for sure. So
Maybe he could work out a little.
put him on the trainer's table for a little while, maybe back in the gym.
I got
for
Capo
cousin Ed.
Caco. I'm taking Wheeler out. Last week I had Wheeler and Caco in. I took Wheeler out. I think Wheeler's playing better. I'm seeing more out of him, so I'm happy about that. But Caco is still in the doghouse. It's just like Coach, what you said. He's getting the minutes and the points aren't there. It's not just that. He's just not affecting the game. I mean, every game I look at the box score and I put stats in. I know stats aren't everything, but 0 goals, 0 assists, +0, 0 penalty minutes, 0 hits, 0 block shots, 0 takeaways, 0 giveaways. Like, what are you doing out there? Like, you have 0. Like, you didn't even turn the puck over. He's like scared to possess the puck right now.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like,
you have
he's not a net
0 across
negative.
the board.
0
Take
hits.
a penalty.
Dude,
Do something.
0 hits.
Yeah.
Caco's a bull. He should be at least throwing hits if he's not playing well. Like, at least get in the corner and forecheck and throw a hit. Caco and
Mikey produced
Pet.
refs from Carolina game.
Oh, yeah, the refs were horrible. So Wheeler's out, Mikey?
Yeah, I'm taking Wheeler out.
Yeah,
Like
the
you said,
refs
he
in
got
the
his
Carolina
first point
game
in the
were good.
11th game.
Explain what's the refs in the Carolina game for the fans at home.
I mean, I just don't understand how you don't call a penalty on that Fox hit. I just don't. That makes no sense to me. 0 sense.
It's a clear penalty. I mean, I agree with you. The
Yeah,
refs
we
in
saw
that
a
game were
lot
bad.
of. It just happens on every level, man. It's tough. We had some questionable calls in our Stony Brook game tonight against Hofstra. We talked about earlier. I mean, Coach Ed almost blew a gasket on a few of them. It's tough to hold us back with these refs. I mean, one game it feels like they're on your side a little bit, and the next game they're just completely against you. It's on every level. I don't know how they missed the calls. There's 4 of them out there.
Yeah, I don't see how both refs looked at that play with Fox and they both
Yeah,
agree
that's what
that
I'm
there
saying,
wasn't a
like-
penalty.
Like the one ref said to us today, "Oh, I didn't have the angle on it." Okay, so that's why there's 2 of you, because the other ref, if you don't have the angle on it, the other one does. You know, so it's just like
It definitely wasn't accidental when he's looking right at Fox. You know, that's the problem I have. He sees him coming. He's got to avoid contact. Period.
yeah.
Period.
Worst
He doesn't
case
have the
scenario,
puck.
it's interference. Yeah, worst case, it's interference.
Yeah, it's
know.
at least interference for sure. But not only that, what happened in that game, if you watch there's too much game management with refs. That's the problem. Early in the game, the Rangers had 3 power plays, maybe in the first 10 or 12 minutes of the game. And then after that, it's like high stick, interference, high stick, interference, no calls. And it's like the refs at that point, they're managing the game. They're like, all right, we called 3 penalties in Carolina. We can't just keep calling penalties on them. But if they're committing penalties, and call penalties. You can't just let them keep committing penalties the whole game. That's the problem I
Yeah.
have with the ref in the Carolina game. Anyway, all right. There's a lot of grind my gears going on here for an 8-2-1 team. So let me get in a better mood. All right, let's go on to the 150. Let's bring him on.
Yes. Mikey.
To throw it over to Mikey P with your Rangers Ed 150, the fastest 150 seconds in the National Hockey
Ladies and
Podcast.
gentlemen, welcome back to the Rangers Ed 150. It was a wild week in the show with some key injuries and high-scoring affairs. We saw two injuries that will no doubt have significant impacts on the Devils and the Panthers going forward. And if the ball gets rolling downhill any faster, will David Quinn remain an NHL head coach? Let's take a stroll around the league and find out. Out west in the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights are an absolute wagon. They now have 12 points in all 12 of their games, and with the Bruins' loss to the Detroit Red Wings on Saturday night, the Golden Knights are the only team in the show without a regulation loss. The Canucks also continue to impress with a solid back end in front of Thatcher Demko. They're sitting in second place with an 8-2-1 record, just ahead of LA at 7-2-2. On the back end of this division, San Jose surrendered 10 goals to the Canucks on Thursday, and then again to the Penguins on Saturday night. You have to think if things keep going the way they are going out in San Jose, David Quinn will not be long for the Sharks organization. Same thing out in Edmonton with the Oilers posting a 2-7-1 start. This team entered the season as a cup favorite, so you got to think that Jay Woodcroft will be on the hot seat if things continue the way they are. Further east in the Central Division, we haven't quite seen the separation in the standings between Dallas, Colorado, and the rest of the division, but make no mistake, it is coming. The Jets, Blues, Coyotes, Predators, Wild, and Blackhawks are all average teams. They've shown nothing that looked all that impressive this year. The Bedard watch, the kid scored in 3 straight games to bring his point total to 5 goals and 2 assists through 10 games. But outside of that, this division is not all that exciting at the moment. In the Atlantic Division, the Boston Bruins surrendered their first regulation loss on Saturday night to the Detroit Red Wings, with McAvoy, Grzelcyk, and Forbort all sidelined. McAvoy received a 4-game suspension for a hit to the head on Panthers defenseman Oliver Ekman-Larsson on Monday night. But even with these 3 missing, the Maple Leafs were not able to beat the Bruins on Monday night and instead put up an absolutely embarrassing defensive performance once again against the Bruins. The rest of this division is a mess as well. Tampa is showing some signs of life with Point and Kucherov posting 9 combined points in their 6-4 win against the Senators on Saturday. The Panthers had Sam Bennett back for 7.5 minutes before he went awkwardly into the boards and re-injured that right knee. Bennett's a huge part of that Panthers top 6, so if he is unable to get that injury figured out, they are going to have a gaping hole in that second line to fill. Finally, the Senators, Sabres, and Canadians all look terrible defensively and are nothing to write home about. Of these 3 teams, the Senators probably have the most potential with all their off-season and late-season additions last year. Finally, in the Metro Division, the Rangers are still in first place, 3 points ahead of the Carolina Hurricanes. The Devils suffered a huge loss on Friday night as Jack Hughes lost his footing and went awkwardly into the boards behind the St. Louis net. He appeared to hit his head and right shoulder hard off the boards, and Elliot Friedman reported on Saturday night that the worst-case scenario has seemingly been avoided, so there is some light at the end of the tunnel for Devils fans. With the exceptions of the Penguins sitting in at 4-6-0 in last place in the division, teams are starting to shake out exactly where we expected them to be, with the Islanders, Capitals, Flyers, and Blue Jackets sitting in the 4 through 7 spots. The Rangers lost Adam Fox after a gnarly leg check by Sebastian Aho of the Carolina Hurricanes. Fox was placed on long-term injured reserve along with teammate Philip Chytil, so needless to say, the Rangers have some large holes in their lineup to fill in the upcoming weeks. The Rangers have the Wings on Tuesday, the Wild on Thursday, Blue Jackets on Sunday. So not an overly difficult week for the boys in blue, but the Red Wings and Wild aren't pushovers by any stretch. So there will be some good hockey to watch. And until next week, this has been your 150.
I agree with
Mikey.
Mikey. I agree. David Quinn is getting fired soon. For sure.
Dude, that's
David
tough,
Quinn,
man.
the whole
We're
staff.
They weren't expected to win games, but to lose back-to-back games by 10 goals or to give up 10 goals.
You're just giving
Like,
up.
lose games
I mean,
5-2, 4-1. Like, there's no defensive structure whatsoever. It's crazy.
Well, the problem is, let's not just get on the coach. They lost Eric Carlson.
So
You lost that defensive prowess on the back end.
Oscar.
I can't tell if
loses
he's serious. Is he
it.
serious?
No,
not
absolutely
serious.
not. No. Me and Coach do not like Carlson's defensive prowess, if you will.
And by the way, how is Pittsburgh doing with Carlson?
Horrible.
yeah, well, we said
He's
that
doing
was
horrible.
going to happen.
Well, I thought
He's
their
doing
power
just
play would
fine
be a
there,
lot
guys.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let
the
him
Sharks,
cook.
I mean, I'm
The
all for
Sharks-
keeping Pittsburgh out of the playoffs. So
Yep.
the Sharks lost in overtime to the Avalanche in the second game of the season, and otherwise have lost every other game in regulation. Here are their last 4 games: 10-2 to Pittsburgh, 10-1 to Vancouver, 3-1 to Washington, who's terrible, 3-0 to Carolina, and 6-0 Tampa. That's really bad. I mean,
Yeah,
that
it's
is just
tough.
really bad. Sorry, it's last 5 games. That is horrendous.
that's rough.
But
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
move on to
anyway.
trivia.
yeah, let's go into the trivia. Sorry, I thought David Quinn was Ranger relevant enough, and I wanted to hear
No, 100%.
Coach Ed.
But now,
Coach Ed's a fan of David Quinn, so I wanted to hear what he had to say. That's all.
Hey, not every
no
coach is
defensive
great.
structure.
In football, it's the same thing. Not every coach in college who succeeds is good in the pros. So there's a
It's
difference.
true.
Is this the last time we see Quinn? You think?
I don't know.
The way the NHL recycles coaches, probably not Oscar. If I see him again.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's get into the trivia. Oscar, you get a
You got
chance to
a,
join our trivia.
I got a 4-point question tonight because no one's got any points for the season.
Oh my God! What?
You get a point per name. I'm looking for 4 names.
Any Jersey
boy.
trivia?
It's not Jersey trivia. No.
Mikey.
Should have been, but
Bam.
Mikey.
You guys ready? What 4 players each scored 20 or more goals for the New York Rangers in the 2016-2017 season?
buddy Oscar, a huge Rangers fan himself.
Oop.
Wait, what season was it?
I couldn't think of a single person. Nash,
Wait, what season
Stepan,
was it?
Miller, Kreider.
16,
Wow.
17. 2016 and 17.
Yeah, I
I had
Kreider.
Zook.
That's pretty much it.
I had Zook.
Oh,
Zippy
Zippy.
on
I
the
had
team?
Zook,
I forgot about
Nash,
Zippy.
and I had Zook, Nash, Mika. That's it. Zook, Nash,
right.
Mika. I had
Who
JT
we got?
Miller.
What about you, little Ed?
I had Kreider. That was it.
All right, so you got a point.
All right. I'll take
Kreider's
a point.
definitely on the list. Rick Nash was definitely on the list. JT Miller was the 3rd.
Let's go.
Michael Grabner.
Oh,
Grabner was
Michael
the 4th.
Grabner.
Grabner. How many?
Rampy.
No, he had 30, I
Wow.
think. How many do you have that year?
20.
I want to say he had
We'll
30.
look it up.
He had like 9
Yeah,
empty
he
net
won.
goals.
Yeah, one season
Yeah,
he
yeah.
had. Yeah, one season he definitely had 30. Or was pushing 30.
I don't know if it was that season. It was one of them though. Grabner. So I got 3. Zibanejad didn't have 20 goals. I forgot about Zibby too, but he didn't have it.
He
huh?
didn't have 20 that year? Was he on the
Not
team?
according to the.
Oscar, who'd you have? I forgot. Did you get one?
I had Nash,
Kreider.
Zuccarello, and Miller. That's the only ones. No, I didn't have Kreider.
Oh, so you got 2. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you're ahead of little Ed for the season, so don't worry.
It's not easy, or it's not hard to do.
No, you're usually pretty good.
All right.
I gave you guys a
Alright,
Good job,
chance, though.
boys.
I'm like trying to
All
look
right,
up
you
that
just
season
did.
now.
All you did was
'Cause
make
that's-
my
I
lead
mean-
bigger, Mike. Thank you.
If you told me, that season, what was that? What patch was that season? On the jersey, everybody. I don't know if everybody would get it right. Anybody would get any answer.
I would not get that right. No chance.
The
Oscar
90th
would have had it.
anniversary patch
Yeah.
or the 100th centennial
right.
patch.
I think of Brad Richards when I think of that patch.
The 90th.
Yeah.
I don't
He
think
had-
of
he
Brad
wore that
Richards
jersey.
ever. I never think of Brad Richards.
He was on the
He's
team
like-
in 2014, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
he was on that team. So you're probably thinking, was he?
No,
No, he was on the
Yeah,
80.
yeah,
You
he
thinking
was.
85th anniversary?
Oh,
he was
yeah,
on the
yeah.
14th
Because that's
team.
with the Navy jerseys. The 85th
Yeah.
anniversary patch on the Navy New York jerseys.
Yep.
Yeah.
what are they up to
Well,
now?
that
How
was-
many
He
years?
knows his stuff.
97 years, I think.
Oscar won
Oscar's-
centennial.
Oscar's counting the days for the 100th anniversary.
No,
patch.
I'm looking at that season. Yeah, so 2026, right? We're gonna see our centennial year. Can't wait. So we're less than 2 years away. Holy smokes,
Oscar, if
2
you have
years and
any,
2
if you
months.
have any pull, please do not let the people who designed that jersey design the 100th anniversary patch.
Also, if you come across
Or the
any
jersey
of
in
the 100th
general.
anniversary patches, in the next 3 years,
Yeah.
Yeah,
If a
you know
kid
what?
if a kid comes by rollerblading with a garbage bag filled of 100th anniversary patches,
Jesus. All right, guys, it's been fun. Oscar,
Oh,
thank you for
man.
joining us and showing us the jersey, and hopefully we don't get in
Fans.
trouble.
We're all gonna get a cease and desist next week. Watch.
I don't have a jersey. Fans, thanks for joining us on YouTube. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, appreciate it, and to our sponsors, thank you, and we appreciate it as well. And check us out next week. We'll be in Toronto for Henrik Lundqvist's Hall of Fame induction. Oscar will be there as well. Mikey Produces can't join us, unfortunately, but we'll be in there, and we'll be making sure we record as much as we can so you guys can see what it was like, and we're looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great weekend.
we had to get
Got a
two
lot of
hotel.
content for you
We had to
guys.
get an extra hotel room. We had to get a suite just to hold the souvenirs.
I know, little Ed. By the way, did we decide? Are we going to order those souvenirs ahead of time, or are we going to risk it?
They said they'll have them there.
All right.
What souvenirs?
They got? I don't want to say.
Oh
'cause
my
everyone's gonna
god!
go buy 'em.
All I heard was "Oh my god."
Everyone's
yeah,
going to
Lindsay's
go
in the
buy 'em.
background. She knows. Yeah.
If you guys
Not a
haven't
lot of
seen the
room- not a lot
post,
of room in the Ranger room.
if you guys haven't seen the post of when Little Ed and I and Coach Ed went to the Lundqvist game where they retired his number, you should go on Instagram and just scroll back and look for that post. We put all the souvenirs on the table after the game, and it took up you couldn't even see his coffee table. It
I'll
was
throw,
insane.
I'll throw
Anyway,
that post up next week and as a throwback.
yeah,
What are you
for
going to
real.
do when you go back to the airport and customs says, "What do you have in here?" They're gonna arrest you for reselling souvenirs.
I know. I'm gonna
This
have
is-
to bring it.
Who goes home with 25 bobbleheads in one suitcase?
You can't have two carry-ons.
I'm
You're
guys,
not
you
putting
guys,
this bag
you
below the
guys
plane.
laugh. You guys laugh, but I'm literally bringing an empty duffel bag up to grab the Hall of Fame jerseys because I've got people that are saying, "Hey, can you snag one for me while you're up there?"
What Hall of Fame
so-
jerseys? From
The
the game?
Lundqvist
So
one.
for the game on the game on Sunday, they're wearing the Oates and Nieuwendyk jerseys.
Oh, man.
He got pads that were specially made for that jersey. So I'm picking one up for me for sure. But I got a bunch of people online, and some of our listeners. Ed, I'll direct them to you, but they're coming from Ireland and meeting us in Toronto.
No way.
So we'll see I'll introduce you up then. Yep, I'll introduce you
Yep.
to them up in.
We'll have plenty of stickers
Toronto.
and stuff like that to give out. So any fans, if you guys are up in Toronto for the induction weekend, definitely shoot us a message on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, anything.
Yep.
So we'd love to meet up with you guys. Boys, great episode. Our first live YouTube. Coach Ed didn't slip up and say anything you shouldn't say. Cousin
That was
Ed
me.
was having a panic attack the whole game or the whole time.
Literally, my heart's been beating at like 100 miles an hour this whole episode. Unreal. All right, guys.
I didn't tell.
fellas.
I'm sweating in this jersey.
Great job.
It's
Love
a
you
nice
guys.
jersey, by the way.
It's a beautiful jersey. I wore it just for you, buddy.
Thanks,
All
bud.
right,
I'll
boys.
see you boys in Toronto. All right.
Love you
Enjoy.
guys. See you soon.
Thanks for
Oscar.
Love
joining.
you guys.
Love you
Love
guys.
you guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.